Hi everybody, it's Christina from Christina's Crafts, and I am going to show you how to make this cute soap saver bag.
Okay, so this is what you're going to need. You are going to need 100% cotton yarn. I have peaches and cream. And I'm going to do my beginning chain and the second row with my 5mm, and then the rest of the pattern is going to be the 4.5mm. You're going to need a bar of soap, so make sure you're getting the right amount of stitches. This one's a little bit bigger, it's about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit more thick. So first thing you're going to do is you take your 5mm, and then you are going to put your yarn on your hook, and then you are going to chain 29. Okay, I have 29 chains. Then you're going to single crochet across those chains. So second chain from the hook right here, you're going to put your first single crochet, and then just keep doing a single crochet, and you're going to go all the way to the end. I am almost to the end here. Last one. Okay, so I single crocheted all the way across. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my 4.5mm hook, and then I am going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're going to skip this first stitch right here, and then you're going to do a slip stitch in the next one, and then you are going to chain 3. You're going to skip 1 stitch and do a slip stitch in the next. Chain 3, and then do a skip 1 and then do a slip stitch in the next. Chain 3, skip a stitch and a slip stitch. Okay, I'm going to keep doing that till I get to the end. So you're going to chain 3, skip a stitch, and then slip stitch all the way across. All right, I'm almost to the end. I'm gonna skip this one and put it right in the end here. This end one's kind of hard to find. It is right there. And slip stitch there, right in the end. All right. Now this is why I use the bigger hook on the bottom, because otherwise it tends to curl this way. I mean, it's still curling a little bit, but I think it looks pretty decent. All right, so then for the next row, you chain 3, turn your work, and then you are going to put a slip stitch in this first chain 3 right here. Slip stitch, then chain 3, and then a slip stitch in the next chain 3, just right in the middle there. Chain 3, and then slip stitch, chain 3, and slip stitch right in the middle here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that all the way across. Okay, I just did my chain 3, and I'm going to slip stitch right in this end one right here, just like that. All right. The next row, chain 3, and then I'm going to slip stitch right in that chain 3 right there, and then chain 3 and slip stitch. And that is pretty much going to be my pattern. I'll go one more row here with you and I'll get to the end, and then basically what you do is you just keep repeating the pattern until it is big enough to fit your soap in. Okay, I'm at the end. I just did chain 3, and then I'm going to slip stitch right in the end here, right in that chain 3. Slip stitch. All right, chain 3, turn your work, and then you're going to slip stitch right in that first chain 3 there, and then chain 3 and slip stitch in the next chain 3. All right, and you are just going to keep going with your pattern like this until you have enough to go over the soap, and also because we're going to put a little tie at the top. So right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew these ends together. So I am going to go ahead and keep crocheting till I get my length of my bar of soap, and then I will come back. I got quite a few rows done already. I didn't exactly keep track of what I needed, so I'm just going to kind of be measuring it off the soap bar, and then I'll let you know the dimensions of the piece after I get it crocheted. So you're going to have to compensate, because this has got to get closed up here. So once this gets closed up, you're going to lose a little bit of the length right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few, probably about this much more, and then I am going to kind of tie these ends together here to see how much farther I have to go yet. But I really like this pattern. I think the whole point of the soap saver is so that the soap doesn't just melt away. This is to help it dry out when it's hanging in the shower, so that you can use your soap longer. And I think that this pattern right here is going to do a really good job of that. So I'm just going to keep crocheting, but I'll let you know all the specifics after I get the piece crocheted. So I will come back. Okay, so I'm making some progress. I just wanted to go over the pattern one more time with you. Basically, the whole thing that I've been doing is just chain 3, slip stitch in the chain 3. You just chain 3, and then you slip stitch in the chain 3. And that's basically this whole pattern after the first 2 rows, after the chain and the single crochet. It's just chain 3, slip stitch into the next spot. So I think I'm starting to finally get somewhere. I kind of put my ends together and put my bar of soap in there, and the cotton does stretch, and once it gets wet it's gonna stretch too. So I think I'm only gonna do, if I put these ends together, I think I'm only gonna do maybe 2 more rows of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then I think we are going to, well, I'll give you the measurements of how big it is, and then I am going to start showing you how to sew it up. Okay, so I am at the end. This is the last row that I'm gonna do. So I am gonna tell you the measurements of it. So let's see. This is approximately 8 inches going this way, and about 4.5 that way. So also I wanted to tell you too, I crochet in 29 at the beginning. If you want to make this pattern a different size, just make sure that when you're chaining, you do an odd number. That's all it has to be, is just an odd number if you're gonna do that. All right, so I am gonna go ahead and close this up. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna flip my work here, and then I am actually just gonna slip stitch, go like this, pull my yarn off to the side over here, and then I'm gonna slip stitch right into here to pull this shut, just like that. You could get needle out and sew it, but I'm gonna try the slip stitch method. I think this will be a lot easier than sewing it. So I'm just basically going through just holes on the side, none in particular, just whatever random holes are in here, right here. I'm just gonna slip stitch. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything, just to get the sides closed up. And just basically trying to match up the holes, like right here, go through the other side and just slip stitch it. I probably want to make it a little bit looser. Don't want it quite so tight. Let's try that again. You still want it, you want your piece to have a little bit of a stretch, because this is very stretchy this way. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to put my slip stitches a little looser. So yeah, I'm just going into this hole, matching up the next hole, and just slip stitching through, trying to do a nice, just really not tight slip stitch so that this can still have a little bit of stretch going this way. It's really hard for me to crochet loosely. I'm a very tight crocheter. So just keep slip stitching. Yeah, see, that's a little bit better. And then right to the end here. And then I am going to slip stitch to the bottom. This is actually going to be the inside of the bag, so I'm just going to incorporate this tail right into my slip stitches. So I'm just going to go right through here and lay that on top here and just kind of, let's see if I can get that in there. Actually gonna there and get that tail in there. Trying to remember to keep your slip stitches looser, and then just kind of put this right here so that gets caught up in there. So just kind of keep it on the top and then right over that stitch right there. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Tuck it underneath here. Sorry, this is actually my first time doing this. I just saw the stitch online and decided to just make my own pattern. So I'm just trying to get this incorporated into there. All right, that should be good. And then I'm just gonna snip that end. Just keep slip stitching on the bottom here. And one last one in the end here. All right. Then I'm gonna snip my end and pull it tight. And then I'm gonna get out my crochet needle and I'm gonna sew this end in right here. Not doing this in any particular spot, just trying to wind it through my work here so that it doesn't come loose and it stays in. Just put it through like this 2 or 3 times. Alright, and then just snip that end off, and then I am going to turn it inside out. Alright, and as you can see, this stretches quite a bit, so let's see if my bar of soap fits in there. Oh, it fits pretty good. All right, then the next thing that I want to do is you want to be able to crochet this together, or sorry, tie this together. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some chains. All right, so I'm going to just take a piece of my yarn here, and then I'm just going to start chaining. And what I want to do is I'm going to weave this into there. So I want it long enough so that we can tie it. So I want it to be at least big enough to go from the front to the back here. So just keep chaining until you get enough to go around the whole piece. And then you want it a little bit bigger than that too. Not much, because you are gonna, it's gonna be like a drawstring. It's gonna just pull through. All right, I'm guessing maybe just a tad bit longer, just to be safe. And then I'll let you know how long I made this. All right, we're gonna try that. I'm just gonna cut the end, slip stitch and pull tight. And then I'm just gonna make sure that, I'm gonna leave these ends like this, but I wanna make sure that they're the same size. Okay. Length. So the actual chain is about 13 inches long. All right, then I am gonna take my needle here and I'll try to get it on the hook or on the needle. I wish these ends were just a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so here is my bag. I'm gonna put my tie probably right through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in right here, leave a little end hanging out, and then I'm just gonna here, here, and here. I'm just gonna go across and weave it in and out. Oh, I lost it. Well, why don't we try this? I'll just pull it through, see if that works. There we go. Could actually probably just use your hands. And just weave it through the holes, all in the same row. I'm hoping this is going to come out even. Because I've pretty much just been winging this pattern. Oh, look at that. Going every other, I come right out. Look at that. Right in the middle. All right. I am going to stick my bar of soap in there. And then I am going to tie the ends here. Oh, look at that. It's like perfect. All right. And then you can just hang this up in your shower any way that you want. If you have a little hook, you can hang it on there. You know what? I could actually, if you wanted to, you could just take a little, you could crochet another chain and hook it onto here so that you had somewhere to hang it. But I betcha if you just leave this a little bit looser, maybe tie it in a bow, you could hang it right like that. Right like that. And then you're all set to go. You're ready to take your shower or your bath and save your soap. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and take care.